Hey, this is Damn Joan, and you're watching a 416 interview
First question I wanted to ask you is when did you start creating music?
a long time ago. Like, I played guitar. I begged my mom to get me a guitar, but she said she wouldn't do it unless I promised I would take lessons. So then I started taking guitar lessons in second grade. So I played for a while, probably like 8 years of lessons and like 10 years of actually playing.
It said in your bio, 13 years.
Yeah, I mean, at this point it might be, but I don't really play like that anymore. But I mean, if I pick it up, I can still do it,
What made you start creating music?
like recording my own songs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In 2016, one of my friends, he was interested in making music, so we kind of tried to, but it wasn't good, so I stopped for a while. And then fast forward to like 2019, 2020, I was doing a lot of modeling, and then one of my photographers, he introduced me. He said, "Come through to the studio," like randomly. He didn't even know that I was interested in making music. He told me to come through to the studio, and then the engineer and like the producer that was there, I tapped in with them, and now like we work every day. His name is Wadaksa. He's also from Toronto, so I don't know. It was just like destined, I guess.
Are you from Toronto as well?
Yeah.
What part?
I grew up in the East End, but then I bounced around for a bit, moved outside of the city for a little while, and now I'm like downtown. Yeah.
Would you say like the environment you grew up with or like, the neighborhoods that you have lived in, like did they influence your music in any way?
I don't know if the neighborhoods where I grew up influenced my music too much, but I would say my parents definitely had a big influence on my music because when like I was a kid, I guess every kid, they don't get to like choose what they listen to. They just kind of listen to whatever is being played in the house or like at school or in the mall or whatever the case is. So I think that had a heavy influence because my parents listened to like a lot of reggae music, a lot of gospel music. Um, yeah, that was mostly the two biggest things that they liked.
Going to your artist name, Damn Drone, am I saying it right?
Yeah, damn drone.
How'd you come up with that name?
This is a super long story, but basically it's just been a nickname for a long time, so we'll leave it at that. But back in the day, I used to play this game called Gears of War. It was popping back then. It's not too popping now, but there's a character in the game called Drone, and then there's a couple other reasons why. But I'll give you that. So
You want to talk to me about your creative process when creating a song?
I think right now I have a lot of different processes because over time I've picked up on different ways that people record their music and make their music. So for me, usually like I hear a beat and if it's inspiring, then kind of put it into the DAW, whatever. Like I use FL Studio mostly, so throw it in FL Studio. Then I kind of listen to it, and then the first thing I usually do is top lines. So I just record like without lyrics. I just say melodies strictly. So I'm just kind of like singing melodies that I think would fit, and then I go back over and I either punch in lyrics for each line or I write to the top lines. Like I'll listen to the top lines and try to think like, okay, what would I say here? And then I'll go and record over it. That's my main process right now.
Are you more of like a freestyler or do you like writing?
I do a lot of both, honestly. I was talking to my mans the other day and I was telling them like sometimes I write full songs with no beat. Like I'll literally sit down and just off the top of my head like write songs on my notes. And then other times like I'll just freestyle a track.
Damn, like King Von type shit, huh?
Swear to God, like if you look at my notes, if I could screen share, like, or I actually can, but I don't want to leak all my good, all my lyrics, bro. But bro, I have a note here at the top. It says lyrics or whatever. It's got the pen and the paper. It's got and you could just go, bro. You can just go and go and go and go and go. Like it keeps going, bro. It's gonna take a while. So when I say like I be writing, I definitely be writing.
Another thing I wanted to ask you about your creative process. How picky are you when it comes to like beats?
I think I'm pretty picky because I want it to be something that sounds interesting. Like if it's too basic, it could be fun to record, but in terms of actually like releasing a track, I want the instrumentation to also be really interesting for like myself and the listener, like something different, you know? So I am a bit picky.
I was doing my research on you and stuff, and then in one of your bios, it says that you have the damn drone sound. You want to elaborate what that is?
The Damn Drone sound, I guess, is what I've been trying to do for the longest time is kind of mixing like R&B with hip hop in a way. It's been done like hella times by a lot of different people. For example, even Drake kind of does that. Like he sings his raps, you know. Even Lil Uzi or Young Thug, like a lot of people sing their raps. But what I'm trying to do is like incorporate more of R&B lyrics into rap. So like more love stories and stuff like that, more positivity rather than, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of negativity in the space of hip hop, especially in lyrics. And I'm not saying I don't contribute to that because I be talking shit sometimes too, but I try to be a little bit more positive in in the lyrics, you know.
Yeah. So what's the reception been like?
I think it will take some time for like more and more people to, you know, tap in with that sound specifically, but I think the people that do like my music and have listened to it, they're really interested in that sound because you can't get it from too many places. I know, like I was saying earlier, there definitely are artists who are making kind of similar style or similar idea, but I think there's not as many as there could be. So I'm trying to fill that gap more and more. And I think the reception has been it's been decent, so I'm gonna stick with it for now.
Is music more of a passion or career for you?
Right now it's definitely both, but I would say it started as a passion and now my main focus is to turn it into my career, which I have been doing like as we talked about just before the interview, like shows now, dropping projects and, you know, just trying to push it as far as I can take it.
When did you like start taking music like as a craft seriously?
I think like I was saying earlier when I was super duper into modeling and then I got introduced to my engineer and my producer. I think at that point we started locking in like every week. I would be in the studio with him like once, twice, up to three times a week. I think around that time, like 2020, maybe 2021 was when I started taking it seriously.
And you've been dialed in ever since.
Oh, for sure. Like I know if you look at my catalog, there's some gaps in my catalog, but that was just due to some technical difficulties and some copyright stuff. But I've been still dialed in, trust me.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, damn, bro. I better be up for real. Like this shit. I'll either be 6 feet deep in the grave or one of the biggest artists at that time.
Do you think an artist could make it out of the city, out of like the dot, or do they have to move to like places like New York or LA type shit?
Actually, yo, we were just talking about this. I was telling him, like, bro, I think like you can come up in your own city and like get some buzz for sure. But I think the moment that you're kind of stamped and certified is when you go to another city and you can do what you do in your own city. I would say like you can definitely come up from Toronto, but I would say to anybody like from any city, not just Toronto, but wherever you are, you don't necessarily want to like stay there. You want to try to get some buzz there so that you can go to other places and get some buzz in other places.
Tying this back to you, you definitely have like a buzz in Toronto. Do you ever see yourself moving out the city to like New York, LA, or any other city, just to like you know, uh, gain a bigger audience?
I think if I was to do that in the immediate future, I'd probably pick Montreal or Vancouver and do like 6 months to maximum a year there. Try to get to where I am at the point where I am here. But in terms of like LA or New York right now, like we've been going out there. Like he just came back from LA like not that long ago. And we were in New York like a couple months before that. So we be we be trying to pop out to different places, but In terms of like staying there, it hasn't lined up yet, but I think soon it could definitely happen.
You're the first artist that's like talking about other cities within Canada. Usually people just want to go straight to the States.
Yeah, I mean that's where the big bread is, but bro, we have to remember like okay, for people that are from Canada and Toronto in general, like bro, we have an advantage to a degree because Toronto is extremely competitive, and a lot of people are trying to do what we're doing. You know, they want to do creative stuff, and there's avenues and there's opportunities for us to do that. And then all of a sudden, everybody's like, okay, as soon as I get a little buzz, I'm gonna go to New York. It's like, okay, that's cool, but you have like a whole country that will back you if you go and like get established in those different places. Like if you go to Montreal, you go to Vancouver, Ottawa, Toronto, you touch down in like the big spots, Calgary, and you get buzz there, then all of Canada is backing you at that point. You can go anywhere, bro. Like at that point, you're good.
Which one did you enjoy most making, as well as like which one are you like most proud of?
I have like different tracks that I'm definitely proud of, and different songs that when I was recording it, I was like, damn, this is crazy. It was so good at the time that like I didn't know if I was like convincing myself that it was good or if it was actually good. I had to send it to a bunch of people like, "Oh, do you fuck with this?" But I would say in recent times, um, I would say Rage City. It was a collaborative effort between me and another page, uh, kind of like they do memes, entertainment, music. They put on shows. They're called Up Next. We collaborated on a project called Rage City, and I think I think I displayed a good like versatility of what my sound is on that, so I'm pretty proud of it.
Being in like the music industry for, quite a while now, what advice would you have for like new artists just hopping into this game?
For new artists, I would say it's gonna take time to like get to the points that you want. But if you really just lock in, try to connect with different people, different creatives. They don't necessarily have to be artists or producers, but creatives in general, like people who are interested in fashion, people who are interested in film. Like just try to connect with different people that are on a similar path as you, and they'll keep you motivated. And like the main goal is to just keep pushing. Like you got to stay committed, you know?
And lastly, any new projects people should look out for?
New projects. Uh, I got some stuff in the vault right now. A lot actually, but I don't know in terms of projects. I had this one concept for a project. I haven't really spoke about it only to a couple people, but I was gonna call it After Images, and each song was gonna be based off of a specific color. So uh, that's kind of what I've been working on a little bit. But other than that, me and my man's from Montreal. His name is DCI Baby. We have been working on a collaborative project as well. So we're getting ready to roll that out.
All right. Quick question for this idea of after images with the colors. Would like each color like portray kind of like the mood of the song? So you know how blue is usually like for sad and stuff. Yellow's happy.
You got it. You got it. It definitely like the colors would play into the songs for sure. Like the one track he's on as well. So it's me and Steezy, and it's called Red Velvet. And you can imagine it's a little bit more upbeat, a little bit more aggressive. And then I have another track. I haven't titled it yet, but it's probably gonna be. Actually, I don't want to say all the track names, but it's blue and it's a little bit more sad. So you have the idea.
Got me like, whoa. Smoking gas with my hoe. My baby back